Good day, everyone. Today we are going to tackle the dimension of the index with Mr. Arthur J. Liego. Hello, class. Good morning. Once again, I am Arthur J. Liego, the reporter and the one who will be discuss the dimension of the index. All right. Before we formally start our class, so may I present to you the materials component or the components of this discussion. So first we have the trivia, the discussion, and then the positiveness, wherein I want that in this lesson or in this discussion, this will be full of positiveness that will be eradicate um, negative thoughts or negative feelings that we have. So just watch, listen carefully to what I am going to say. All right, for class objectives, at the end of the discussion, the students will fully understand the three-dimension of index that is proposed by Booth and Ainscow 2002 in the index of inclusion. So this is what we're going to unravel right now. All right, so first, we will going to have a trivia. All right. So for those who don't have any idea what is trivia, this is something new, something that is you're not really familiar with, but you are used to it. All right. So for our trivia, did you know that the hashtag symbol is technically called an octathorpe? All right, so according to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, the octo prefix refers to the 8 points of the popular symbol, but the thorp remains a mystery. All right, one theory claims that it comes from an Old English word for village, based on the idea that the symbol looks like a village surrounded by 8 fields. So the hashtag that we are using right now, especially when we are going to post our pictures or our statuses in Facebook and in Instagram, no, that is called an octothorpe. Octothorpe, yes. Um, and octo means 8 because in hashtag there are 8 sides, or in the hashtag there are 8 sides. And um, because this one, ayan. So let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So this one in the center is the thorp, or in according to the old English word, that means village. So it looks like a village with 8 sides. So again, that is a quick fact about the hashtag that we are using. All right. So whenever you post it online, or whenever you post your statuses in Facebook, next time you will not say I will use hashtag, but in the other way around, you're going to say, oh, I will use an octaform. So your classmates or your friends may ask you, what is an octathorpe? Then you're going to say, that's the hashtag that we really know. But um, the the technical term for that hashtag is octathorpe. All right. All right. So that is all about. I mean, that is our trivia. So it's about the hashtag that has a technical term, octathorpe. All right, let's proceed. So I present to you the dimension in section in the index under the index of inclusion. All right, so first we have, let's start from the bottom. We have creating inclusive cultures. And the next is producing inclusive policies. And the last is evolving inclusive practices. So let's explore and explain this one by one. All right, so let's start with the dimension A. So we have creating inclusive cultures, and with the section A and B, which is building community and establishing inclusive values. Okay, so this dimension creates a secure, accepting, collaborating, and stimulating community. in which everyone is valued as the foundation for the highest achievement of all. It develops shared inclusive values that are conveyed to all staffs, teachers, students, parents, and everyone in the community. The shared principles and values will be the backbone in crafting crafting an inclusive classroom policies. So, this dimension A, creating inclusive cultures, this will really start from or in the classroom. So everyone or in the classroom and in the community. So everyone must take part in creating a secure, accepting, collaborating, and stimulating community for everyone or for our learners that um, may it be PWD or persons with disability, may it be with the learners that has different race. So again, different race is also part of the inclusive education that we are trying to push through. All right. So again, the teachers, the staffs, the students must really take part in creating an inclusive culture for our students or creating an inclusive community for everyone. You know? Because even though we are not in a classroom setting or in a school, inclusive or inclusivity must also be evident in our community so that we will not feel behind or we're not going to feel that we are alone. No? It's because we have the community that really accepts us, really empowers us for who we really are. All right. So an example is in the classroom setting. We say um, letting their opinions be heard, or let's let the students or the opinions of our students be heard. So everyone has the chance to be called in, has the chance to share their ideas about the topic within the class or for the class and also using learning materials such as audiovisual aids. So this audiovisual aids caters the students with or the students that will really learn out from um, the the visual aids and also with those students who really learn using their auditory or their hearing. All right, so these are, these are the examples of um, how we're going to create an inclusive culture. All right, so again, that is dimension A in our um, dimension of inclusion. So creating inclusive cultures. All right, so the next dimension is producing inclusive policies. So developing the school for all and organizing support to diversity. So since we already know that we are really diverse in the classroom setting, in the community, so we have to develop um, policies that will cater those differences that we can come up with a consensus or that that will protect us for being different. All right. So this dimension ensures that inclusion permeates all school plan. Policies encourage the participation and staff from the moment they join school, reach out all the students in locality and minimize inclusionary pressure. So um, even though we are promoting um, inclusivity here, there are still students who don't or who will feel they don't belong. So we should um, decrease the pressure that they feel of being different. So that's the main goal of creating or producing inclusive policies. All right, and um, support is considered to be all activities which increase the capacity of a school to respond to student diversity. All forms are developed according to inclus- inclusive principles. So yeah, that's it. The school must develop a inclusive policies because those inclusive policies will really help the children to learn and to feel belong, no? The sense of belongingness. And an example of that is the anti-bullying act. Diba? We are um, we are being protected by that act because you will be bullied because you are different. You are different from your other classmates. That's why you will be bullied. Um, and that measure or that act really protects the students. And that is an example of producing inclusive policies that is applicable to all and that will protect our um, diversity, that will protect our diversity. And of course, because we have produced an inclusive policies, we should also support the diversity of all the students that we have in the classroom setting. All right, so once again, that is producing inclusive policies. That is the dimension B. All right, so next is dimension C, evolving inclusive practices. So orchestrating learning and mobilizing resources. This dimension develops school practices which reflect the inclusive cultures and policies of the school. Lessons are made responsive to student diversity. Students are encouraged to actively involve in all aspects of their education. So, evolving inclusive practices. So we already have created a culture for our inclusive culture, and um, we already have produced inclusive policies. So this time the practices that we are going to evolve it, and we will, we're going to evolve it according to the inclusivity principles or the inclusive principles. And um, for another example is promote interactive learning. So before ever since before, we already have an a different kind of learning or an interactive kind of learning. But right now, because of the changes, because of the globalization that is being that happened, there are a lot of changes also in our education system. So right now we suffers from diversified or the diversity of the students that we have. So we have students with different races, different genders. That's very evident. And we are going to promote the interactive learning. So we are going to um, group them with um, according or not basing from their gender or not basing from their race. So we're going to group them, um, and we will let them share their experiences, or we're going to let them talk to one another so that they can relate. So that is one way of promoting interactive learning, and of course helping children to feel comfortable in school. So how are we going to do that? um, Let our students feel comfortable in school. So, as a teacher, as a future teacher, we have to be considerate. We have to understand um, our our students because um, we came from different backgrounds. We came from different family. So one way of letting our children feel comfortable in a school is we should empathize them. We should let them know that we understand them, and in that way, they will not fear school. Instead, they will treat school as their second home, and they will treat the teacher as their second parent. All right. So once again, that is evolving inclusive practices. No, evolve means change for the better the practices that we have. All right, again, that is the three dimensions under the dimensions in the index. In the index. All right, once again, the dimension of the index. So for us to remember it, um, for us to really remember it, I crafted a what they call this acronym. So why not let's call this CPE. You know, so C for creating inclusive cultures, P for producing inclusive policies, and E for evolving inclusive practices. Again, the three dimensions in the dimension of index, we have the CPE. We have creating inclusive cultures, producing inclusive policies, and evolving inclusive practices. All right, so that concludes my um, discussion about the dimension of the index. I hope you learned something and thank you for today and see you in the next class.